After hearing about Atomy, it seems like the company really makes an effort to distribute high-quality products at affordable prices for the benefit of its customers. And Atomy is a company that works even harder to grow together with its partnering companies. While researching about Atomy, I came across some unique key words. Let's take a look at these key words to learn about Atomy's management philosophy and organizational culture. Could you please tell us about these?
Sure.
The first key phrase is feeding cows versus feeding babies. I don't really understand what this means.
This is what we refer to as the kind of mindset we should have toward our customers. In our company, we have a set of management goals, and the first one is customer success. This means that Atomy does not consider the customers to be a means of success for the company. Rather, the focus is on the customers themselves. We use the phrase feeding cows versus feeding babies to explain this in simple terms. The reason a farmer takes good care of a cow is not for the benefit of the cow itself, but for the purpose of getting milk from the cow. I doubt if there's a farmer who would take good care of a cow if it's not producing any milk, right? But when a mother takes care of her baby, she's not trying to gain anything from the baby. The baby itself is the goal. We strive for an attitude like a mother feeding her baby, not like a farmer feeding a cow just to get milk. Just like a mother focuses on her baby, we want to focus on our customers as the ultimate goal. The first part of our company motto is cherish the spirit. We never think of people as a means to an end, but rather the end goal itself. This is the philosophy behind how we run our business.
The second key phrase is, getting rid of work is the way to work effectively. How can you get rid of work and work well at the same time?
Most companies will tell their employees to work hard and to work well. However, I do not tell my employees to work harder or to become better at their job. I tell them to eliminate work if at all possible. I believe that getting rid of work is the best way to work effectively. As an example, people used to attach the backs of smartphones with screws. But later, they came out with plastic covers for the back that just snapped into place without using any screws at all. They got rid of the work of putting in the screws. So who is the better worker? Someone who is really good at putting in the screws, or the person who has eliminated that step altogether? If you ask me, it's the person who got rid of that step. So I challenge my employees to find ways to eliminate unnecessary work, instead of working hard on something that is repetitive or overlapping with something else. Some people who don't really understand this will often ask, but won't I be kicked out of the company if there's no work left to do? I get this question a lot. But here's an example. In the past, it was very hard to do laundry. Women used to have to wash their family's clothes by hand. But now there are washing machines in your house, so the chore of washing clothes by hand has been eliminated. You just throw your clothes in the washer, and the laundry is done with just a press of a button. Does that mean the homemaker should be kicked out of her house?
I don't think so.
Of course not. In the same way, we never fire our employees. After loading the washing machine, the homemaker can do a number of other things, such as read a book, do something creative, or simply enjoy having some free time. Just like this, my real intent is for our employees to automate their work and do something for the future, such as take part in something creative, something for personal development, or something that just makes them happy. This is what I mean by getting rid of work.
From what you're saying, you will never fire your employees, right? But won't the employees just sit around and not get anything done?
When people are hired as full-time employees of Atomy, we give them job security until the day they retire. After telling them that I would never fire anyone, even if they didn't do any work at all, a lot of people asked, well, what happens if everyone really just sits around all day playing, just not doing any work? But I believe that people inherently like to work more than they like to play. Of course, there are people who say work is difficult and that they don't like it. But there is a reason behind that. It's because those employees don't have the power to make their own choices and have to follow orders that are assigned from above. They don't like to work because they have to work like a machine in some ways. But if employees are given the power to make their own decisions, they may agree with me that there is nothing more fun than working. That's why if someone joins our company, we don't give them a job description filled with tasks. Instead, we just leave them alone for a little while. I believe it's much more effective for the employees to find work to do on their own initiative and decide to take on specific tasks for themselves. Work shouldn't be something that you dread. I think work should be more fun than play.
There is actually something that I'm most curious about. I've heard that employees who play all day also have a role. What kind of role do they play?
When managing a company, there is a common practice of firing the bottom 5 to 10% of your workforce every year. This is a management practice from the United States. If you do this, it has the effect of making the employees work really hard, so they're not the ones who get fired. But there's a problem with doing things this way. There's a tendency for employees to not cooperate with each other, since it comes down to either you or your coworker being fired. You are put into a desperate situation. You should be working together with others at work. But this is impossible because you are competing with them. You have to step over them. Therefore, instead of individual accomplishments through competition, I believe that collaborative achievements through cooperation is much more efficient. Let's say that there's an employee who is not performing very well at all. He doesn't even deserve a paycheck. You will see these kinds of people at work. But we don't fire this person because he actually plays an important role. When the other employees see that even a person like that won't be fired, they will be assured that they can continue with this company for a lifetime as long as it does well. It gives them peace of mind and a mentality of cooperation without competition, as they hope for the company to do well. These are my intentions behind my no firing policy.
It sounds like you are creating Atomy to be a company where employees feel secure and grow together by working cooperatively.
Yes, I'm trying to create that kind of environment.
Theoretically, this sounds like the perfect model. But I wonder if a company policy with so much freedom really leads to results.
Yes, the data tells us that it really works. Our employees each produce sales amounting to $7 million every year. So, with a total revenue of $1 billion and only about 130 employees, this is historically unheard of in the distribution industry. Objective data shows that employee productivity per person is very high with Atomy.
Atomy really seems to be a very efficient organization when it comes to productivity. I also came across the phrase Assistant Manager Park while reading about Atomy. May I ask, is this your nickname?
Yes, some of our employees call me Assistant Manager Park, as well as Mr. Unconquerable or Mr. Fourth Dimension. As for the assistant manager Park nickname, I had worked as a salaried employee for over 10 years. So I'm familiar with the workings of a business. I think they call me that because I'm the president who works like an assistant manager. But I've heard they've recently promoted me to manager.
Oh, so now you're manager Park? Let me ask another question to the recently promoted manager Park. I've heard of a vertical or horizontal organization, but I've never heard of an amoeba organization. What does this mean?
In our company, we don't assign or delegate tasks or hold employees to a set of rights, responsibilities, if at all possible. So, when new employees join with our company, instead of putting them to work right away, we give them some time to sit around and observe how the work flows. If they manage to find some work to do, they may become a manager for that particular project. Anybody can become a project manager, regardless of their position in the company. And these project managers are able to recruit anyone in the company to become members on their team. For example, a project manager who is an employee can recruit a director, or even the president like me, to put together a team of members. And when the project is completed, that team dissolves and a new team is formed around a new project. We are fluid, flexible, and can change form like the protoplasm of an amoeba that moves around a nucleus. That's why we call our company an amoeba organization. We are an organic, living community.
It must take a lot of guts to recruit you, the president. Someone must have nerves of steel to ask you to be on their team. I'm also curious to hear about the free position system in your company. Does that mean your employees can choose their own titles?
Yes, that's right. When you join our company, you have the freedom to decide on the position title that gets printed on your business card. So a new employee can become a manager or even the head of a department. Internally, the position names don't really mean anything. The titles are mostly for external purposes.
President Park, I also heard that when you work, you put emphasis on a chutzpah mindset. What exactly is a chutzpah mindset?
The chutzpah mindset can be found in Israel's education philosophy. It means to be bold and brazen and never stop asking questions. If my employees have any questions while working, I strongly encourage them to be audacious and tenacious and constantly ask questions until they understand. This is the type of mindset that they should have. Employees should not go easy on me just because I'm the president. I have put down my title. So with all titles aside, let's create an atmosphere of working face to face. It is with this purpose that I preach the chutzpah mindset.
By doing so, I think the employees can have more influence on different aspects of the company.
Yes, the point is not to use power or authority, but to use influence when working. In a horizontal organization, I believe that having a broad range of influence is true impact.
So far, we have found out about President HANGIL Park's management philosophy and the culture of Atomy through various keywords. I heard that Atomy is building a new office building, and the concept of this building is offices within a gym. Could you please share with us your motivation behind this project?
Usually, companies tell their employees to work hard and to work a lot. But I tell my employees to try and eliminate work. After you get rid of work, we should play, right? So we're developing a workplace where our employees can play. If they have time to play and enjoy themselves at work, they will be sure to come up with creative new ideas.
Wow! After hearing about Atomy's corporate culture, I have to say that it's beyond unique. It is revolutionary. After listening to your talk today, President Park, I get the impression that you are a very smart, influential businessman. Now I'd like to ask you my last question for today. How do you want Atomy to expand moving forward? What are your future aspirations for this company?
People call this time period the information age. One characteristic of the information age is that we are flooded with a tremendous amount of information. So, it is very difficult for consumers to discern what information is useful or beneficial to them. It can be very confusing and overwhelming. Atomy wants to be the company that helps consumers with this overload of information and provide just the right products for them at the lowest possible price. A reliable company with products that you can trust and use. Atomy would select the most relevant and beneficial information for its consumers, acting like a kind of shopping curator. This is how I would describe it. We want our customers to simply trust and use our products at Atomy. We strive to become the company where consumers can just buy any of our products and know that these are the best products for them, minus the hassle and information overload.
We had President HANGIL Park of Atomy on the show today. We were able to hear about his management philosophy and company's goals from a different perspective. Of course, increasing sales and growing as a global company is important. But what stood out was President Park's great resolve and belief in the importance of winning customers' trust through every effort. We hope for Atomy to become a company loved by many consumers around the world. President HANGIL Park, thank you so much for being with us today.